Well, good day. So, for today's video, we're gonna talk about the first cartoon appearance of the world's cutest kitty cat. That's right, I'm talking about Nermal. So, alright, meow meow.
Yeah! So, we start off with Garfield doing his second favorite thing ever, sleeping. But Nermal, the world's cutest kitty cat, he doesn't want to sleep, he wants to play, and he needs Garfield for playtime. So he wakes Garfield up and shows him some of his cute little kitty cat moves with like a ball of yarn and stuff. And oh my god, so cute, hey? Like, how can you possibly be mad at that, hey? Meow meow. You can't, I tell you. Well, unless you're Garfield, then you're furious. Cutting into his sleeping time like that, hey? Puh. So in a calm rage, Garfield grabs Nermal, tosses him in a box, and prepares him to be mailed out to Abu Dhabi. At least Garfield left holes in the box, I guess, hey? So that's a win. Also, I think there has to be a couple more steps to send live animals through the mail, but I'm sure Garfield has that covered. Anywho, so as John is picking up the mail from the really happy mailman, he finds Nermal in the package and saves the cute little meow meow cat. And John is not at all happy with Garfield. And why should he? John is cat-sitting Nermal. Like, if something happened to Nermal, man, he will be in a heap of trouble. So John, being completely fed up with these jealous shenanigans, he sends Garfield to obedience school. Garfield in an obedience school? That sounds like an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. Or maybe not. Because the obedience instructor is Miss Stonewall, and holy crap, she is not someone you want to mess with. Whether you are a cat or a human, there is no calm in this lady. And even more terrifying is that the complete crash course in obedience is only 6 hours long. To be completely obedient after 6 hours? Like, oh my god, like what does she do? But Garfield is too scared to not listen, so, so far things are going pretty good. But Garfield has learned from another cat on the inside, named Clyde, that Miss Stonewall was actually kicked out of the Marines for unnecessary roughness. Jumpin' Jehoshaphat! And she's taking out all this rage on a cat? Ugh, this can't be legal. So as Clyde is forced to go into the obstacle course and is failing horribly, especially in the dog pit part of it, this gives Garfield a distraction to let all of the other cats out of their prison cages as they all escape the obedience school. Also, Garfield still needs to get out, right? So he dresses up as a kid pretending to bring Clyde back home. But Miss Stonewall don't fall for that nonsense. So Garfield runs away like a brave cat, which, well, realistically, is the best move, man. This woman is crazy. Miss Stonewall chases Garfield through the obstacle course until she gets stuck at the angry dog pit part, where she is pleading for help to get away from these dogs. But she's the obedience instructor, right? She could, like, just yell at the dogs, tell them to obey, do that thing that the dog whisperer does, that whatever sound it is, to make the dogs listen, But nay, none of that. So Garfield, being the good cat that he is, decides to save her, where we find out that she suddenly has a newfound fear of cats and starts freaking out. Runs away, she does, out through the front door, and she's gone. Which doesn't really make that much sense, but I guess with all that pent-up rage, you're gonna snap somehow. But it's good for Garfield, so hooray!
Meanwhile, back home,
John accuses Garfield of trying to send Nermal out to Abu Dhabi again, and is pissed off that he wasted all of that money on obedience school, which clearly did nothing, and realistically, really didn't do anything.
but not this time, John, because Nermal is safe.
he's not in the box! Which completely satisfies John, but, wouldn't he want to know what's in the box? Like, what is Garfield up to? Well, turns out Garfield is trying to send Odie to the Yukon Territory. So, oh, Garfield. I guess it's true what they say. Cats can't change their stripes. And with that is the end of this, cute little kitty cat tale.
So yeah, short but sweet, but a pretty good cartoon. Although there's something familiar about it, I just can't put my finger on it. Oh well. So this cartoon is pretty neat. I have lived around cats for quite some time, so I have seen firsthand when a kitten is introduced into the home of an older cat. And it goes exactly the way it goes in this cartoon. But still, like the older cat doesn't care about the kitten, in fact, doesn't want anything to do with it. It will hiss, it will yell, and it will run away or whatever. And all the kitten wanted to do was just play. Usually, eventually the two will become friends and then become inseparable, so it's all good. But not so good in this featured cartoon, because there's only 3 things that Garfield cares about: his girlfriend Arlene, his endless supply of lasagna, and his extensive sleep schedule. Alright. Everything else he just completely tolerates, including Nermal. Well, for a short spell anyway. But why send him to Abu Dhabi? Like, that's gotta be pretty freaking expensive. At least he sends Odie to the Yukon, That's still on the same continent, so you're saving a lot of money there. I don't get it. But Nermal, hey? The cutest kitten. Haha. So here's a picture of one of my friend's cats named Gizmo. I thought they should have named him Nermal because he looks exactly like Nermal. Small, cute, cuddly, and completely adorable. Like this cat doesn't even have to try. And he was introduced as a kitten to his older cat friend, Pippin. Life imitating art, imitating life, imitating art, right? So if you haven't checked out this episode or this Garfield and Friends series, I suggest you do because it's pretty darn good. But with that, we do have some more behind the scenes kind of things about Nermal and Garfield and stuff like this and that going on over here.
So yes indeed, hey? Nermal, the world's cutest kitty cat. Which is a fact that is hard to argue. So let's take a quick little look as how this cute little fuzzball came to be. So, Nermal made his worldwide debut in the Garfield comic strips on September 3rd, 1979. A quick, quaint, and cute little comic strip where Garfield meets Nermal for the first time and is completely indifferent to him. But an interesting piece of information is that we learn that Nermal is actually the cat of John's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Arbuckle, on the farm, which is pretty neat. However, this was the one and only time that the ownership of John's parents was ever mentioned with Nermal. It was quickly dropped. Nermal shows up in John's house once in a while because he is cat-sitting for Nermal's owners. We don't learn who those owners are, but they're definitely not John's parents, and we don't know why that is. If I were to venture a fan theory, it would be, seeing as John's parents live on a farm, there are always a bunch of cats on the farm. Kind of stray cats, but farm cats. They probably had a really cute kid. John's parents took that cat in and then gave him away to some family friend somewhere, which is why John is the one trusted in looking after Nermal. The family connections! That's just my theory. It makes sense. We don't even need a reason why for all this stuff. That's just how my brain works. But Nermal, what a cat! The cutest cat and also quite a jerk. Nermal and Garfield have quite the relationship. You can call them frenemies, basically. Always at each other with the verbal jabs, the insults, both of them chirping at each other. It's actually pretty good. for all those instances, it's pretty much Nermal that instigates all the tomfoolery, with Garfield ending it. Which kind of makes sense, man, because kittens just want to play, like no matter what, no matter how, and usually a lot more rough than the older cats. So with that, this featured episode really encapsulates everything about Nermal. Being really super cute, and being egotistical about it, doing something to piss Garfield off, and then getting sent to Abu Dhabi. Or attempted to, at least. And I still don't know why he was sending him to Abu Dhabi. If you wanted to send Nermal as far away from you as possible, you'd probably send him to Australia. So why only halfway there? Although the most likely reason is that Abu Dhabi actually has a high stray cat population. So might as well send Nermal to a place that has a lot of stray cats. Which on one hand is kind of rude, but on a second hand, there'll be a lot of stray cats for him to hang out with, so he'll be pretty safe. One question that has arisen quite a bit is if Nermal is a boy or a girl. For example, Nermal is shown with some pretty fantastic eyelashes. Usually in Garfield, only female characters have eyelashes. Also considering the fact that in this cartoon series, Nermal was voiced by none other than Desiree Goyette, the vocalist extraordinaire for the Garfield cartoon specials. So with that, everyone figures, okay, Nermal has some fancy lady eyelashes and is voiced by a woman, then Nermal must be a girl. But nay. So it was established actually that Nermal is a boy cat. The eyelashes are there just to make him look much more cute, and Nermal being voiced by Desiree kind of gave him a softer, more youthful voice. So earlier when I said that this episode seemed pretty familiar, what I was thinking about was the first Garfield cartoon special. Here Comes Garfield. There are some pretty similar things in there. Like not exactly, but close enough. Garfield being stuck in a place he doesn't want to be, releases other animals to get out of there, and they all escape from the mean person guarding the place. In the Here Comes Garfield special, it was at the City Pound, whereas in this episode, it was at Obedience School. Not exactly the same, but there was quite a few similarities in there that I was thinking, I'm pretty sure I've seen this. So a nice little nod to the first animated special. But that's the quick little things on Nermal, how he came to be, and all that kind of stuff. Not a lot to it, just a cat showed up and started being a jerk. That's pretty much your definition of a cat. We do see him quite a bit more often, and we'll get to those appearances when we get to those. But for now, with this, that, those, and the other things, I guess and that's that. Also, if you're interested, I created my own comic book channel, 215 Comics, and currently I have created my own cartoon series, The Adventures of the Density, and recently started a radio series featuring my newest character, Elastomorph, with more titles to come. So if you want to check it out, I'll leave a link up top here to that channel, and some links at the end of the video. Yeah! Right on, and there you go. So thanks for watching the video. I hope you liked it as much as I did making it. Also, feel free to check out the source material that I featured in this video. And if you want to leave a comment on anything you may have liked or things I might have missed in this, feel free to do so. Or anything else, just to say hi. That's cool too. And other than that, have a great day. Thanks.